everyone. Well, we're out here again in the garden. This area here that I'm in is prone to high winds, exposed to a lot of high winds. You can see these are spring onions. This is how we grow our spring onions here, folks. Like gorillas. Look at this. Some of the diameter on these trunks, that is at least 60 mil diameter, 50 to 60 mil diameter, some of those. We keep them for the flowers. I mean, we just had a burst of rain come through and just really dampen all the flower heads. They're starting to dry out and they've got a little black seed inside them. That's if it hasn't fallen out already. It's a bit damp now, so as soon as it dries out, here we go, I found one. There's your little seed. That's what it looks like when it comes out of the pom-pom head. Now, there's thousands of seeds here, and when it's in full bloom, the bees and all the pollinators love it. They come around here, so no doubt our honey's going to be a little bit spicy and a little bit of oniony. And that's what I do with these. I just let them go to the seed and they'll fall down, and whatever germinates, we'll transplant them across. But beside the point, this soil here, this was one that we had at the garden centre years ago, and it was predominantly cocoa pith. That's what we put in here. And that's 5 years later, well, not 5 years later, 2 or 3 years later, it's still in there. It's breaking down slowly. We didn't actually, we grew these as a trial back then, whatever we planted in here, in cocoa pith completely. That was it. And then we top dressed it with our fertilizers and mulch. No, we didn't mulch. I think it was all exposed like that. That's right. But when I brought it here, because we got the high winds, I put in some bean straw over it. I think this is the last bit of bean straw that I got left on here. All the rest of it's blown away. And it's just really difficult. So what I can do here is put the mulch down again, feed it up and put the mulch down, and put some netting over the top and peg that down with hose pegs or irrigation pegs. That will keep the whole thing down and safe. Pretty simple, but I'm a bit inquisitive. I want to try something else, try something different, and what I'm thinking is actually mixing. Now, I've got some leftovers here when we did the other tomato trial that we started. This is our our planting mix and our cocoa blended together 50-50. Now that, as I'm thinking about it, I shouldn't use the cocoa because we already got cocoa in there, but I thought, it's going to go to waste otherwise. So I'm going to put this in on top of that as a blend, but before I do that, I'm also going to add some pea straw, small slab that I've taken out of the batch I had over there. Now, the only concern I have about this is it's long and stringy. That's good because it'll interlock and hopefully hold itself down, but it'll be hard to blend in the blend that I've got underneath, the planting mix and cocoa into it. I'm just going to start with this small amount here and see how it blends. This is just me doing some trials. Normally you chop all this up, and I'm using all the wrong bloody tools here, man. I've got a garden. There's a bloody garden fork over there. What am I doing with the shovel? Just break it all open. Hopefully I don't have to chop it up, with the secateurs. So nice and loose. There's no clumpy bits. That's what you want. Use a garden fork, not a shovel. It's a lot easier to mix it in. Just use the tines to sort of push the soil or compost, whatever you're using, into it. And this is really good because you're adding texture to it at the same time into the soil, and predominantly that's what you need for long life. And you think about it, with soils and composting, you've got larger and smaller particles, pieces of different organic matter. It'll be dry leaf mulch, it'll be fresh leaves, twigs that fall down that are dry, or even branches that have broken off and still moist. But they're all different sizes and shapes, and they all have a different breaking down period of time, I suppose, or process. So the larger the piece, the longer it takes to break down, but it becomes a home, for microbes to go in there and other composting creatures. So having all that different texture is a good thing. That's something that I haven't been doing in my beds. I've been applying the straw. I've been applying the straw on the outside and at the bottom, but not in the mix as much. I've done a couple with branches, large and small twigs mixed into it at the base of it with the compost, which is a good idea. So the hugelkultur, they call it, something like that. That's great, and if I did that more often than larger logs at the bottom, you just got to remember to do it when I'm filling up a bed. But when it comes on top of the beds like this, when it comes to filling on top, you can't really put those large sort of twiggy branches. You can put fine branches, that's really good. Old bark breaking down in branches are really good to be on top. but I save my branches for the fireplace and the barbecue, folks. It's not going to be the best mix, folks, but what I'm trying to do here, and you guys probably have a better method. I suppose you put it through a mulcher and all that. I don't want to make it too fine. I want it to interlock, but what I want is to have the straw embedding itself into the soil. So no doubt I'll be sprinkling some more soil over the top. But being exposed, the soil's going to not really activate that well when it's sitting in the sun, completely exposed like that. So, you know, I might end up resorting to putting more straw on top. That defeats the whole purpose of this trial that I'm doing. All right, the debate's on. We're thinking either the soil's going to fall right through the straw to the bottom and leave the straw on top, and eventually that'll blow away again. Or as it does sink through the bottom, depending on how much there is in each spot, it may lock in some of that straw, you know, the stringy bits at the base of it. So if the straw tries to blow, at least the soil that's compacted down, anchoring parts of the ends of the straw, parts of the straw together, maybe we'll have more success in stopping it from flowing away. I might use my hands here because I'm losing a little bit of the mix. And I'm talking about the straw. I'm trying to get enough straw blending through, and even some on top. So you can see the straw on top. If I put a little bit of soil onto it, that's our planting mix and cocoa, as it sinks in, it sort of flattens the straw down a little bit and just anchors it down a bit. And because it's long and stringy, it's on its own already going to be anchoring down and interlocking. Realise that you don't actually have to mix it. Do it in reverse. I know the answers. The answer is put your mulch down at the bottom, but don't put it on too thick. So the idea like this, have a look at this. Just trying to find a better way of processing the whole mixing rate. So I've just put a very light layer. You can see right through it all. And then I'm just going to shake the blend that I've got here, the planting mix and cocoa, through it. So get enough body in it. Don't top dress it to the point where you can't see it. Unless you need to fill it all up and all that, that's fine. But if you're trying to just anchor it down, see like this, because you know how straw, when it dries out, it becomes really lightweight and the wind gets underneath it and all it needs to do is peel it off like carpet. So hopefully the soil compacts in between the straw and starts to bring it all together. Just ruffle it in like that. We're going to add some water now and see how it behaves, how it performs. No doubt this is all going to sink in nicely. There we go. See how it's sinking in? We've only got a little bit showing now. That's what I'm trying to achieve. I'm not sure how successful I'll be long term. And I'm thinking, yeah, that's going to lock in because it's all in between the mulch as well. It's not the mulch sitting on top. See, I might need to, I'm going to want to mulch it on top, but I want to leave it exposed. But we'll do that now for, just going to keep hosing it down. We'll leave it exposed for a couple of days. We'll see how it performs in the next couple of days over the high winds. And obviously with the watering over time, how much of that soil or that planting mix we've made going to sink all the way through, and how loose will it become, the soil, the mulch that is, meaning, you know, easy to fly away, exposed to the high winds again. My feeling is, there's a lot of mulch in here. I mean, that's, yeah, it's thick, I can feel it. It's about 2 centimetres, 3 centimetres thick, and that sinking in is nice. So folks, if you suffer from a lot of wind like I do, get some mulch into your garden with some compost or planting mix blended into it. Put a fine layer on the surface if you need to top them up, and it's only a small top up, and it's enough to protect it, and then just give it a light sprinkle over the top with your compost or your planting and give it a good watering in. Then your mulch should sit on top, enough there to protect it but not blow away. Check out our website, Vasili'sGarden.com, folks. Our Boxing Day to New Year's sale, mega sale is on, so we announce a item during the course of the day that's heavily discounted, so it's a price smash. So watch out for that. It can happen at any time of the day, and it's down to low prices, so you can enjoy the benefits of great products at discounted prices. It's all on Vasili'sGarden.com. From me, Vasili, Maresi.